I think it's going to ask you if you accept
this is
recording.
New.
Yeah. You have to give me consent.
It's like your last chance. Yeah, no going back. There we go.
That's right. All right, are we going? Okay, cool. Awesome. Welcome to the podcast. Today I'm talking about one of the scariest topics since it's October. We're going to be talking about the Qanon phenomenon. Trevor, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. It's really interesting.
I appreciate it, Owen. Thank you for having me on. And I've been talking to you, for a few months, or probably about a year or so now or more. And I really appreciate what you do. So thank you for all the work that you put out. And great to be here.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, tell us a little bit about True Living and what you're doing with that.
Yeah, so basically I'm growing an organization that's meant for entrepreneurs, really spiritual and like service-driven entrepreneurs. We have a lot of coaches, doctors, healers in the community. And really it's a place where you can kind of come and really just have that like authentic connection with people. Like everyone in our community is really like just real, honest. They want to support you. And, we have a lot of tools as far as online assets for helping entrepreneurs to really grow as far as systems, things online like spreadsheets, templates, toolboxes, like that kind of stuff to really empower the entrepreneur to help them, get their first couple clients and get a website up and get things rocking and rolling with their business. So that's kind of what we do. We host weekly workshops every Wednesday night. So if any of you guys want to check it out, you can go on my Instagram page and let me know about it. Like, let me know you want to come and see it. But we have a really fun time on these calls, talk about like, mindset, a little bit of business, and really just the people are so authentic. It's such a real community that you can really go there and like not be judged and not feel like you're being like, being weird. Everyone's just like being natural. So it's a really fun group, and I'm really enjoying what we're creating. So yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. It sounds like a great resource. Yeah, I'll definitely put a link to that. You guys check that out, please. And it's cool. Yeah, like what we want to do today is along the same lines, just have like a fun conversation about this, which is an interesting, phenomenon. The scariest thing I think would be if Trump could keep a secret. I don't know that he's ever done that, as far as I can tell. And like also people speculating about like who this person might be. We'll get, and like all that, that's interesting to me. Like, I mean, it could be Alyssa Milano. Who knows, right? No.
I think we have a good idea of who it is, but it's a team really. But
okay, cool, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
so let's start at the beginning. How did you get involved in this? How did you get interested in it? What was the first thing that kind of like got you interested in the whole Q thing?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start back in 2018. I was finishing up college at Penn State, and I had some health problems. I had like this leaky gut where my gut was just really acting up, and I had a lot of anxiety from that. I felt depressed. I was having all these different mood swings, and I was just really not myself, right? At college, of course, living that lifestyle of partying and drinking, having a good time, and my diet was not so great. All those lifestyle factors were kind of off, and long story short, I basically came back home. I kind of had some things flare up at school. I came back home in like the springtime of 2018 and really wanted to like look into myself, like improve myself as far as my life, my mindset and things like that. I really went into a lot of like holistic health research online, came across meditation. That was huge for me. Kind of like slowing down and like kind of just being more aware of like my actions and my thoughts and whatnot. So I kind of, at that point, I really got into research about like holistic health was the first thing, holistic health, mindfulness. I went into more of like the media and kind of like big pharma. I went into a lot of different topics in the beginning. I was really curious, wanted to learn about like why is this stuff not being told in school about like meditation and eating a healthy diet, things like that. We're not really told about this in school. And I was like kind of bummed out. Like I was really confused why not? So I was doing a lot of research, and I came across this YouTube channel by someone named Jordan Sather. His channel is called Destroying the Illusion. And I actually have one of his shirts. Funny I'm bringing this up, but I have a Space Force shirt from his website on right now. But he had this video. This was probably about June or July of 2018. And it was a video about this thing called Q. And I was already kind of open-minded to a lot of, what you could call like conspiracy theories. And I was kind of seeing how, some could be true, some could not be true. But I was very curious. And I saw his video about Q, and he was the first video I saw about this. And pretty much from there, I kind of kept going into it more and more. And, I have a really large background in statistics. So I went to college for actuarial science, a lot of high level like probabilities, calculus, risk management stuff. And so I had that math background. And, with Q for me in the beginning was, I really just tried to like look for the evidence, like how, like, is this real? Like, how is it real? Like, where's the proof? Where's the data points? And what I saw was there's many coincidences with President Trump and the Q drops. There's very, very many coincidences. And, from like my background, when you have like 5, 10, 20 coincidences, like, okay, it could be chance, right? It could be luck, could be just like, a coincidence. But like when I was seeing like 50, 100 of these coincidences with like Trump's tweets, with world events, it made me realize that there could be more to the story than the media is telling me about. So that was kind of like the point where I was like looking into it more and more. And ever since then, I've been following the drops, for the last almost 2.5 years. So that's kind of my story in like a little 5-minute version.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think there's a lot that the media doesn't really talk to us about. There's a lot that we don't learn in school. I think the biggest reason for that is, people who have created control systems or are at the top of certain, businesses, corporations, places of power, basically, is they want to limit competition, right? Like if you have a place of a position, a seat of power, a family of power, you don't want anybody to become autonomous and challenge, your empire that you've built, So I think that has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of really good research out there, about schooling, where schooling came from, all that as well. But not to dive too far off, to get back to this whole thing. So like the Q thing, like, so when you found that video, what was he explaining in that video, and what did he say, what this is? What is this phenomenon?
So the first Q drops were actually back in 2017. It was October 28th, 2017 was the first couple drops. And basically the whole idea is that Q is a back channel. It's like a back channel of information going around the media. So, and it's really more, I would say Q is not a team, Q is not a person, it's a team. And it's more of an operation. So Q is not like,
it's not Colin Kaepernick.
It's not, yeah, we really think it's a team of people. One of the early drops says that less than 10 people have the full scope of the Q operation, like that, like know of it, and 3 are non-military. So, there's been many, many drops. What happens is that the Q team, these people who are posting as Q, they post on these platforms that are anonymous. So first it was 4chan, then it was 8chan, now it's 8kun. And these platforms are really uncensored. So anything goes on there. It's like the Wild West of the internet. And what happens is that there's websites certain websites pull the drops from 8kun and display them in a really easy format to read. One's called like qalerts.pub, and there's different other ones as well that kind of pull them from 8kun because it's kind of messy on 8kun. But it's really a back channel. It's really kind of an outlet to give us information that goes around the media, around politics, around all the, what's going on in the world, the crazy stuff going on. But yeah, so what did you ask? What was the question again? I forgot.
Well, yeah, like what is it? Like what? So I think you've answered the question.
It's really a back channel.
Right. It's a way to get theoretically information to people, just regular people, that the media is not like putting out.
Yeah, it's really getting it out there in an uncensored way, in a way that can't be blocked. Because you know how it is now on the internet with Facebook, Twitter. These platforms are really blocking people who are speaking out, I believe, about certain things. They're being deleted. They're being demonetized. They're being blocked for just speaking the truth, I think. So it's a way to kind of give it to us like uncensored, unblocked from anybody. I
would say truth or lies. Just because somebody's censored doesn't mean that what they were saying was the truth. It could have been also a lie. You know what I mean? So that's a slippery slope to get into. To say if every time somebody gets banned from a platform, they're speaking the truth. That's not necessarily true. If we go with that, you know what I'm saying? So like
to counter that,
I don't like censorship. But my point is, if you put everything in a category that this was the truth, so it was censored, therefore it must be truth, then I I think you're limiting your perspective tremendously with that.
Yeah, the thing with that is though, many Q followers and researchers have been getting banned and deleted from online.
Sure.
But yeah, you have Antifa and people like Antifa not being blocked and banned. So, and things like that. Like, so I'm wondering, when you look into kind of who owns these platforms, big tech, you look into Facebook and Twitter, you look into like Jack Dorsey, Zuckerberg, it all kind of makes sense when you do the research. So,
well, like I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that some of the people aren't being unfairly censored, but you can't just assume that someone is telling the truth because they are censored. Alex Jones was censored. Many people have been censored for many different reasons, not necessarily because they're telling the truth. I do think it's unfair. I think everyone should have the same, reach online. Shouldn't be censored. I don't really care what their thoughts or ideas are, even if they're stupid, because I have my own, bullshit filter. I can figure out for myself what is true or what I think is probably true. I honestly don't, I try not to believe anything fully, because I think that's a trap as well. So I'm just saying that just because someone is censored, that doesn't mean what they said was true. It doesn't mean the reason why they were censored was because they were presenting true information. It's probably the case that they are presenting information that platform doesn't want. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's also a lot of people I still see a lot of stuff on YouTube about the Q thing. And so basically, not to get into that, the censorship is bullshit, right? Like, that's not cool. There are other platforms, I guess, as well, that a lot of people that I used to follow, like just different conspiracy or content creators, not necessarily even conspiracy, but other people's ideas that have nothing to do with QAnon, who have been banned from platforms. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that what they have to say is true just because they were censored from the platform. It just means that they said something that was against what that platform wanted them to say. And I think it's a terrible, terrible thing that we're having to deal with. But also to think of it in this sort of way that, oh, well, it must be true because it's banned. I don't think that logic follows. That's my own.
Yeah, I'm not saying that everything that's banned is true, but I would say the vast majority is, because why would you need censorship? Like, why? Like, why would you have,
for control,
you know what I mean?
man?
So
For control.
exactly. Yes.
That's why, to control.
Mhm.
Yeah. And absolutely.
So who's controlling? I mean,
Both sides.
I think it's all connected. So yeah, I do
Both
want to
sides
just kind of, well, what do you mean both sides?
I mean, both sides are controlling the Republicans, the Democrats. Everybody who has power wants to keep their power. That's why we're not trained in school these things like how to eat healthy and how to balance a checkbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not one side or the other. And that's the problem, is that we're out here in the streets fighting against each other, thinking it's that person's fault and this person's blaming this other person, and nobody's looking up. We should look up more. In general, nobody looks up. But yeah, I mean,
can I add a point real quick?
Sure.
It's, from what I've looked at the last couple of years, it's really a lot bigger than left versus right. Like, that's a trap. So we want to kind of expand our mindset to look above the political system and look at more like kind of service to self versus service to others. And I think we're in the middle of I would say a spiritual war. It's not so much politics. It's really a lot bigger than that. So I would encourage your listeners to really read the drops, go through the drops and kind of do your own research. But we have to kind of really get outside of this bubble of politics and see kind of the bigger picture, I believe.
I completely agree with that. And so, one thing I think that's also mentally, it can challenge us if we're not careful and we're trained to think this way. We're trained to look for a superhero, somebody who's going to come and save us, whether that's our teacher at school or whoever this leader is or that leader is. I think we need to all just start wearing our underwear on the outside of our pants as individuals and start doing the things that we know we can do. This Q thing is interesting. Like I said, I got into it for a while. I personally, I don't follow it personally, because I'm honestly trying to do anything that I can do, creating networks with people, maybe doing a little bit of Agora type of things, figuring out trading. My friend Lindsay Zimmerman has an app that she's working on that's kind of like a bartering app, just to get off of the main system, the mainframe, really, and start establishing our own networks. I think that's really important, especially for entrepreneurs coming up, because what we've seen with Corona is a lot of corporations gaining a lot of momentum, profiting a lot, and a lot of small businesses. I can speak from personal experiences, being, being basically, just forgotten about, left, lost, and gone, and gone in the wind. So I think it's really an important time for us to make those connections while we can, however we can. That's why I think what you're doing at True Living is so cool. And we have to, really be responsible for ourselves, and so back to your point, you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, with Q, the whole idea is that it's time for us to come together as people, kind of get past the labels of politics, left versus right, get past that, get past our skin color, get past our religion, get past our beliefs about how the world, these different beliefs that we all kind of have, we're fighting about. We're all on the same team. We're on the same team. And there's going to be a lot of things happening in the coming months about corruption coming out. We're going to have a lot of justice in America. There's this whole big thing it's called Spygate. A lot of people are spying on President Trump and his administration, which, like, all the politics aside, we're going to have a lot of things shaking up in the collective. And people that follow Q, that know about Q, are kind of ready for this. And we're kind of, we're here to hold the space for people to, kind of realize what's been happening as far as the media being controlled and all these things. A lot of dark stuff's been happening on this planet, but it's all ending, which is really positive. It's all ending. And I think what's important is that we have the power, always have the power. So as we evolve our consciousness, as we all do the healing, do the work on ourselves, that will change the world. So I would encourage everyone to try and tune out a lot of this drama and politics, and just really worry about what yourself, what do you want to achieve, what do you want to create. I think all of us on this planet are creators. Our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, our actions all actually create our reality. So I'm really passionate about kind of sharing law of attraction ideas, stuff like that. But I don't know if I said this before, but 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, I really had a really big spiritual awakening, and it led me to a lot of my beliefs change. And it was really tough for me. It was really tough to kind of see myself for how I am, all of my kind of traumas and my triggers and stuff. And it was tough. So I'm kind of on a mission to help people realize what's happening on the planet. I think it's a really powerful time to be alive. I think we're really lucky to be here. And there's a lot of positive things coming, I believe. So I want to kind of add that good note into this chat.
Yeah, I agree, man. Totally. 100%. I went through a very similar experience. Honestly, I've been going through it for the past 8 or 9 years. So I totally understand. And I do think we have the ability to affect the future. I just think that it's not from a place of being a passenger, that it's really important for us to take action and to do things, and not to just expect somebody else to do it for us. Authoritarianism, whether it be under the cloak of, Republican or Democrat or, communist or Antifa or whatever, authoritarianism is authoritarianism. And I don't believe the ends ever justify the means. So I don't think it's ever okay to do something. Exposing government corruption. Oh yeah, I'm all about that. Let's do it. I'm all for that. Exposing people who are doing, terrible, awful things. Yeah, absolutely. Pedophiles belong in wood chippers, that's how I feel about it. But at the same time, relying on someone else to do it for you, I think that's a little bit of, not that I'm saying that you're doing that, but I think it's really easy for us to do that. We're trained to do that. We watch Batman, we watch Superman, we watch Spider-Man, and we expect a superhero to come out of nowhere and save us from stuff when we need to be making our own, our own way, truly. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, but that's part of that waking up process, is realizing that you are responsible for yourself, and that you're going to have to contribute, you're going to have to do something.
I love that point. Yeah. A lot of people, I know for me, I went through a phase when I first started following Q, whereas we almost kind of think okay, Q is a savior. No, Q is really helping to empower us. If you look at the drops, a lot of the Q drops will ask questions. They will ask us, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Look at this, look at that. And then what do you think? So they're asking us what we think, and it's helping us to kind of think for ourselves. So it's almost like we have Q to help us all think for ourselves, if that makes sense. And it's really powerful. It's like a tool. I see Q as a tool. You have meditation, you have books, you have, other methods to kind of like evolve yourself. And we have Q as also a tool. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm interested in that. That's what they call like the Great Awakening or whatever. Is that what?
Yes, that's
So
a common phrase. Yeah.
okay, yeah, and then so what is that? What is that alluding to exactly? Basically what you said.
Yeah, I mean, the Great Awakening is kind of where we're at right now. There's, in a sense, like two phases of this operation. The first one's the Great Awakening, which is kind of like almost the past 3 years now, which is, we have a lot of drops coming in. We have a lot of information that we're getting about different things. But the next phase is going to be like called like the storm. And the storm is when we have a lot of justice. So I strongly believe we're going to be having a lot of indictments in America. It could be tomorrow. It could be a year from now. It could be years from now, but it's going to be happening at some point. And it's kind of like we're all kind of prepared for this so that when it does happen, people are going to be relaxed and calm while others are kind of like scrambling around like, what's going on? What's going on? We're kind of going to be able to just be like, it's all good, guys, give me a hug and stuff like that. So
Sure.
That's kind of the basic of like what's to come.
Well, who's going to be doing this indicting?
So we have a couple of people. We have the AG William Barr, Attorney General Barr. He's going to be probably like unleashing these indictments. But we have really the first one's going to be John Durham. John Durham is an attorney, and he's been on this Spygate scandal for a couple of years now. And I would look to see John Durham in the coming future to unleash some indictments involving the Spygate scandal that happened over the past couple of years. And it's a really massive thing. I don't want to go into it too much because it's just so massive, but essentially the CIA, FBI, DOJ, Obama administration, they all kind of were on the same team, and they were all kind of spying on President Trump and other people. And that's going to be the first thing that breaks. Q has told us for a while that FISA is the start of the storm. So like FISA is kind of the spying apparatus that they use to spy on Trump. And that's kind of like the first thing's going to be breaking. So we kind of have essentially with Q is we kind of have essentially like a map of what's to come, I believe.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure that the
Sorry, that was kind of deep. Yeah. I mean, it's complicated.
No. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't understand why. I don't understand why it needs to be. If this is a way to get people information that the media won't, report on, then why does it need to be complicated?
I'm saying Spygate is complicated.
Oh,
it's the greatest scandal in the history of America.
Okay.
So it's
wow,
it's biblical. It's biblical.
Bigger than
yeah.
Deep Throat, huh? Neat.
It makes Watergate look like pennies. Yeah, it's gonna be massive, man. It's gonna be huge.
I'm sure these organizations spy on basically everybody. Isn't that their job?
Yeah. So what's happening right now is we're in the declass phase. So a lot of things are being declassified, as you can probably see if you want to look at it, what's happening. But they're kind of showing like the evidence of what would happen, and then we're gonna have at some point, more of the justice will kick in. So it's really exciting.
Okay, right on. I mean, that's great. I hope it happens. You look excited. You look like a kid on Christmas. I don't know how. I don't know how this is gonna unravel. Hopefully it does. Like, I'm definitely optimistic in that. But what if it doesn't? What's the backup plan?
I mean, so it's not like we're relying on Q at this point. If Q were to stop posting, we'd all be good because we have enough information already. We kind of have the map already. So it's really empowering because it's almost like we're the news now. Like the people are the news. So I almost feel like I have a duty to kind of share information, share truth with my friends and stuff, with followers, because, we are the ones to bring change in the world. Like you're saying before, like we're the ones to save ourselves. Like it's not Trump, it's not Q, it's not the military. I mean, in a sense, sort of, but really it's us. Like we're the ones to kind of change the world by really evolving ourselves. I really believe.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. 100,000%, man. Like we're here creating the reality that we're basically being told through the media. That's a lot of times. And if we can step away from the media and start to begin to create our own reality, now we're in charge of that. So that's really what I'm all for. I'm all about, us really representing, working together, building networks between each other, doing the things like you're doing with the entrepreneur network. That's really the type of thing that we need to, I think, focus on too. So that's cool. So Q has been a way for a lot of people to come into this and to learn about spirituality, I guess, and some things that were maybe occult or hidden before. And that's a good, positive, amazing thing. And to say that you don't need it, that's really good and positive. It's like a guru, right? Like you think you need a guru or whatever, but the guru is really inside of you, that kind of thing. That's cool, man. So what are some of the other predictions that this group of people have done, and what is the connection to Donald Trump?
I don't want to make any predictions because, I don't want to say I know what's going to happen when, but
or even past ones that they've predicted, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's been a lot of what we can call like Q proofs, where there's a lot of times where Q has kind of like predicted things that would play out. There's a lot of them. I don't want to go into it. There's tons of them. You can go like do research on them, but there's been almost 5,000 drops. So when I say like we don't really need Q anymore, it's because we already have enough information, I believe, as it currently is today. It's October 9th, 2020. We have plenty of information already. So what I want to really kind of touch on with this, I think it's important, is just like, I think we're basically in a war right now, and it's not being fought physically. It's being fought like spiritually and with information. So you have the media and stuff. They want us to be in fear. They want us to be dividing ourselves, fighting like politics and stuff. But Q is kind of saying, guys, like wake up. We're on the same team. We're all humans. And it's kind of like really uniting us together. All countries, all ethnic groups, all races, people across the world. This is a worldwide thing. It's not just America. People all across the world are following Q. And it's kind of just like it's really just a way to, get us on the same page and get us prepared for what's to come, I believe. So I don't want to go into like what's going to be happening exactly with the future, but like I said, definitely, I think we're going to be having, Spygate indictments very soon is what I would say.
Right on. Yeah. Well, I hope that justice does happen. I'm definitely all for that. I believe the universe itself is just, but we have to allow it to be that way. A lot of things get in the way of it.
I mean, if you want to really look at the last couple of years, it has been justice happening. You look at Nexium. There's this cult called Nexium. It's been taken down. Look at Epstein. All these different people kind of with him. Like things are happening. It really is happening. You got to do the research to kind of see it happening. We have the wall built now. The wall down south has been used for a lot, I believe, of trafficking, of guns, drugs, children, women. So the wall is up now. Stuff like that. There is change happening, but it's up to us to kind of, look for it and to kind of share it, I believe.
I didn't even know there was a wall. That's crazy. That's how out of touch I am. No.
Oh, that's like that's a big Trump thing, is the wall. But
well, I knew that he was talking about it. I knew he was talking about it. But yeah, I thought they would just maybe do a moat, or something, maybe something different, like a
moat,
big soccer goal or something, across the thing. I don't know, maybe some sharks with laser beams on their heads, Dr. Evil style down there. They literally built a wall. I fucking missed that.
Yeah, it's tall too. It's all across the border. I think it's almost done. But yeah, that was a big thing. I know Trump kind of ran on that promise for the wall. So yeah, I think it's important. I think we need to have boundaries for our country because, America's awesome. I think we're like just a great place to be. And I think the past couple of years of different presidents, we've had just tons of people flooding the country that don't belong here, to be honest. So yeah, I think it's been a good move. But I want to also, just to give your viewers, your listeners, kind of an idea of what's playing out, I believe a great analogy to explain, I think, Q and what's happening with this election and kind of what's playing out in the world is a game of chess. Now, I don't really know chess too well, but I do know that when you play chess, when you have a game of chess, there's two players, and what often happens is that when you're playing chess, somebody will see the checkmate like in the future. Like someone will see it, like one of the players will see it. So, and then they'll both see it. So both players will know that the game's over. But you got to still play. There's still a few moves to make. Like there's still a few moves to play out in the chess game. It doesn't make sense. Essentially, like I think what's kind of been happening is that there's been this massive, in a sense, chess match, and I think both parties see the checkmate. Like they kind of see the end. Now it's a matter of just playing the moves out, and then once it's played out, it's over. But I believe the game is kind of already over, and I have a lot of faith that good people in the military, patriots, have actually kind of in a sense won the war. And now we're kind of seeing this play out as far as just kind of with the collective, having people become aware of these things. And then once enough people are aware of these things, like it will happen. You're right. You're saying about justice. You're saying you hope it happens. Well, I think once enough of us like do the healing and do the inner work and kind of like realize this, then it will happen. It's kind of up to us to kind of bring it out in the world. But I have a lot of faith, from what Q has shared, a lot of us really believe that, good guys are in control. And a lot of what's being played out right now is actually has been planned for. It's kind of been scripted for a while, and we're kind of just watching it all unfold, as almost like a movie in a sense. It sounds a little wild, but
it's a little bit outrageous. I would say there's no such thing as a good authoritarian. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's good people, what does that mean? Like, that just means that they're aligned with the side that you.
Service to others.
Okay, so that was.
I would say good is service to others, and I would say evil is service to self.
Well, that's what the both sides say that, like that's what collectivism is.
I mean, I don't see like the whole political thing. I don't even see parties. I just see, I see people who are really evil, and a lot of them I think do a lot of messed up stuff, and I see people who want to change the system, like President Trump. So there's a couple good things. Like there's one documentary called Out of Shadows is great. Fall Cabal is great. Yeah. So I mean, you kind of see how there's a cult that kind of runs the world, that has ran the world, and they're losing bigly though. They're losing power now, and they're kind of coming to an end, which is really exciting for all of us to watch. But like I said, it's really like we have the power, and it's up to us to kind of change ourselves to change the world.
I kind of see it almost exactly the opposite. It's funny because, I was saying that, look at these big organizations like Walmart and Target and Amazon who are becoming huge. And there's all this like technocratic literature that came out in the 50s, talking about the technocracy that is forthcoming. Trump's been totally pro-vaccine. He's pro
optics.
So the ends justify the means.
So like the average person, on this planet, they probably think vaccines are great. So when it comes to Trump and what he says publicly, you got to keep in mind that he's kind of appealing to the world, to the whole collective. So, Trump can't come out and say.
I heard him with his own mouth say that he was going to send the troops out with a vaccine to vaccinate people. That it was.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He said that.
Yeah. I heard
yep.
That.
You're totally right.
Yep.
And optics are very important because if you were to come out tomorrow and say like vaccines cause autism, then no one's gonna vote for him. They're gonna be like, Trump's crazy, right? So he can't say these truths because we're not ready for it yet. So with the vaccines and stuff, I believe.
Well, not all vaccines cause autism, but some.
I didn't say all. I said
vaccines. But making
Yeah.
that general, what I'm saying, making a general thing like that. But I'm saying, obviously, he can't come out and say that because A, that's not what the science shows. But like B, yeah, of course, there would be some blowback for saying that, but especially something that because. Here's the thing about it. Like, not all vaccines are created equal, right? I mean,
totally agree.
I've had vaccines and, so far as I know, at least I haven't had any, any crazy side effects from it. But, it just seems like a lot of the things that I think the majority, if there is a silent majority, would stand for, like, hey, I don't really want to be forced or mandated this particular whatever medication, whatever it's called, if it's an RNA vaccine, I'm not really sure. I haven't done a lot of research on it recently. Why wouldn't he be for choice? Why wouldn't he say, well, people can make that decision? It's up to them. It's up to the individuals. And then at that point, he's not under any scrutiny, but to say that it absolutely, they're going to roll it out and issue it with the military, that's just optics. That's horrifying.
So they've already said that it will not be enforced federally across the country. That's a fact. So the states could enforce it, but federally, it won't be enforced federally. And actually, just this past week, Trump, when he got COVID, he took something called Regeneron, and he's going to make this available to anyone for free, which is like just happened a couple of days ago. So
Cool.
we have treatments that are out going to be for free that aren't even vaccines. That's happening. So it's really exciting. You know, I think I agree with you. You know, it is scary having that possibility of having us all be like kind of forced to be vaccinated. That's scary to me as well, but I don't see it happening. If it does happen, it'll be from the states because the states have the power as well.
Well, to force anybody to do anything is immoral. So it's just, I have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Big time. You know, as far as like, there are other things too. And I usually I still go through the TSA, you know, I still go through security at the airport. I still put on a mask when I go to the grocery store. I'm going to comply with all this stuff. You know,
see, that's where we're different though.
out of respect for other people and their fear. But yeah, I mean, forcing people to do that's different too, because it's based on wherever you go. You know, if you go somewhere that doesn't require a mask, then you don't have to wear one, obviously. So that really is up to the person, you know, the business itself for the most part. And people have been, I don't know, it's been pretty disappointing from my angle, but it's different in different places. Down here in the South, people are a little bit more cowboy for sure. But when I was in the North not too long ago, and like people were very serious about wearing masks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that I see a lot of optimism, and I definitely believe in people, but I think we have to take a lot of action. I think it's really dangerous to lean on or believe in somebody that you never know. You don't know. We've never met. We don't even know who these people are, these politicians. I mean, I know that he's not an establishment guy, but like he's been a part of the corporate, you know what I'm saying, infrastructure as long as I've known of the corporate infrastructure, right? And synonymous with it. So, and I don't know. I mean, also how much power these presidents have, that's still even up to you know, a Supreme Court rule to decide, you know, some of these executive orders and different things like that. And even in the states, there's going to be a lot of interesting legal things, I think, that are going to happen in the next few years, you know, which is crazy. I never saw any of this coming, but it's been really bizarre and and strange to watch. But yeah, I mean, I just you know, like I hope obviously for the best, but I can't support an authoritarian. Me personally, I'm a libertarian, so I'll vote for Joe Jorgensen. That'll be my like political thing or whatever. I've never voted before. I don't really get into politics a lot, but obviously it's taken front and center for most of us, and I obviously want to try and connect with as many people as possible. I had the opportunity to do that with my sister a couple weeks ago, where we were like arguing one night, and then the next day I got stung by a poisonous caterpillar.
Oh wow!
I didn't even know I did know it was possible, but I'd never seen it happen before.
Damn.
And then today my friend sent me an email about this poisonous cat, but my sister, she was so sweet. She was like, oh my God, you know, my neck was just like super red and rashy.
Oh man.
It was pretty funny. I was at my other sister's wedding when it happened. And so my sister's like, oh my God. And she's like, I care about you. I love you. And we like made up or whatever over this caterpillar. But my friend sent me an article today about a caterpillar that is in Virginia, which is a hairy, venomous caterpillar. It's small, hairy, and you don't want to get anywhere near it. And it is one of the most venomous caterpillars in the U.S. It's on the loose in Virginia. You got to watch out. So basically what happens is it like walks on you, and then it releases toxins out of its like quills. And then you have like an allergic reaction to it. This thing is called you can't make that up. It's called the pus caterpillar. And it's mostly common in Texas or Missouri, but I guess there have been a lot of people in Virginia getting stung by this thing, which is crazy.
Wow.
bit of an aside. It's just wild, you know, but it definitely gave us the opportunity to, you know, to connect. And she was like, I care about you, you know, and sometimes we don't always agree, but that's fine. We're allowed to not agree. You know what I mean?
That's what makes it fun. If we all agreed on everything, then what's the point? If we're all the same, then it's boring. So
Exactly right. Yeah. And the lesson's really what matters the most, you know, like, and that's what we can do, how we can help each other, you know, ways to just build connections and networks outside of the main system, you know, like, I don't know, I look around at nature. Nobody has a ruler in nature, you know what I mean? Like the squirrel does what the squirrel does, bro, and the hawk does what the hawk does. They're all free. They're free beings. And I think we're supposed to be free as well. I don't think there's supposed to be some authoritarian structure that puts us into a box, because the future is going to get pretty weird.
yeah.
You know, there's all this automation that's happening. Like you're talking about the censorship, that's horrifying. And I don't care what you believe. I don't think you should be censored no matter what. You could be a crackpot, crazy person. I mean, I'm not stupid, you know, like I'm hoping that people have their own tools to figure out, you know, what's, I can't believe there's a wall. That's crazy.
That's yeah. It's kind of older news, but yeah.
Older news. When did that happen?
I mean, it's been being built for a little while now, but I think it's almost complete. Yeah, I do want to end this on a positive note, though, for sure. So, you know, I want to say to your audience, you know, definitely like do your own research, like read the drops. There's a really great book by someone named Praying Medic. His name's really like Dave Haynes, but it's called The Calm Before the Storm. It's on Amazon. Great book. But what I want to say is, you know, we're probably going to have some more chaos, you know, with what's playing out. But I think, you know, once we do have this justice phase of what's going to be kind of playing out, then we can actually bring out technology that's going to free us. Like, I believe we have technology that's available to us. It's been available for a while. I'm talking about, like, you know, free energy, anti-gravity, stuff with like Nikola Tesla, Thomson Brown, you know, Wilhelm Reich, all these guys that have kind of been missing from history. This is real stuff that's available to us. And I think once we have these, you know, bad actors kind of locked up and they're kind of taken care of, then we can kind of actually free the planet, like, you know, get rid of this whole debt slavery
Let's
system.
do it now.
And
let's do it now.
Well, here's the thing, man, because what's been happening in the past is people who speak out and like bring stuff out, they get either killed for it, they get either blackmailed for what they bring out. It's like, it hasn't been safe until kind of now to kind of bring this stuff out. Even discussing this kind of stuff in the past, you might get killed for talking about this. But I think now it's more safe to do it. I think it's a lot more safe now. I think we're kind of being like protected in a sense. And I think we have a lot to look forward to, like, really. So I want you guys to just really like have this in mind that might get a little bit crazy, like even more crazy, but there is going to be a big payoff, you know, once this is all said and done. I really believe that.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. It's going to get wild.
Buckle up.
Yeah, definitely is going to be, you know, definitely things are going to be turbulent. They already have been. And I expect to see more of that. But again, it's about building connections, you know, intentional communities. I do think what you guys are doing, True Living, is really, really cool.
Thank you.
There are other resources like that. Autonomy that Richard Grove does. There's a lot of people involved with that, which is really cool. That's really about, you know, being a self-reliant person, creating your own thing, having your own business, your own gift to the world that you can bring, and a way to you know, make your living, and then that way you're creating your own livelihood instead of relying on somebody else to provide it for you. And so that's the big thing that I want to just note and highlight. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk about this. Yeah, I'm going to do some reading up on this wall. I can't believe it. I remember when it was like pitched, I was like, yeah, that's funny. And then now it's actually real. That is crazy. I've been to Mexico a few times. You ever been there?
I've been on a cruise once. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. Well, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to look into that. That just blew my mind. I can't believe that. How did I miss that? I'm glad I did in a sense, but like in another one, I'm just like, I don't know how. Yeah, because I watched like an hour of the debate the other day, so I feel like I would have heard that, but no, I guess it was mostly just bickering back and forth.
Yeah, the debates have been pretty intense.
I watched the vice
it's-
presidential one too the other day. I think I watched the whole thing. That one was more coherent, I guess. You know, was still awful.
Well, listen, man. I wanna thank you for having me on here. I know we don't have the same agreement on everything, but I really love what you're doing with your podcast and with your work. I think it's great. The world needs to have some laughs and to have some information. I really appreciate what you share. So
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on. It means a lot.
Dude, it's my pleasure. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been chatting for a while, so we can talk about some more sensitive topics, which is cool. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing with me. And everybody, check Trevor out on True Living. Love what you guys are doing there. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, dude.
Thank you, man. You as well. Take care.
Awesome.